was an invitation.
No, that's how we determine if it's a question.
Yeah, that's it. Of course.
Okay. What more do you know about Jamal Adams and his progress?
The surgery went well, and he's resting at home. Going to be there for a while to begin his rehab. But everybody sounds pleased that it worked out okay.
Do you have an idea of how long he's going to be out for?
Don't know.
Did you do just the knee or the fingers too?
No, they didn't do anything with the fingers, as far as I know. I didn't hear about that at all. He's already had those worked on, kind of, you know.
I thought he needed something after.
He might, but that's not the main concern right now.
And was it a torn quad tendon? Is that the official?
Yeah, sounds pretty good.
We'll go with that. Okay.
Is he away from the team indefinitely, or what's the plan?
He's going to be there for a bit while he starts his rehab.
Facing a team that's 7th ranked rushing, just the task of trying to make them one-dimensional, any team one-dimensional that can run the ball well.
Yeah, we certainly have to attend to that. They've looked really good. The running backs have looked good. The quarterback has been a big factor already. You know, they've really transitioned quickly to Marcus being in there and shifted the emphasis where he's a big part of the run game too. He's averaging almost 5 yards a carry. You know, so that's always a difficult deal. You know, for us, you know, it always is because they run option football. So we got to take care of that.
Talked about building a team that likes to run the ball and play good defense. Do you see similarities in what they are building their team around and what you are doing?
Yeah, that's, you know, you've heard me long enough. I think that's a good way to go. And he's getting it done. It looks like that's where they are. They're very active on defense, very multiple and challenging there, as well as with the new dimensions of the run game really make it difficult.
What can you tell in week 3 that maybe week 1 and week 2 we're still sorting out?
No, that's really happening. We're still, and I think a lot of teams are, you know, they're learning, you know, what looks right for you with your guys, how far have they come, you know, how much can you use them. We're adapting as we go. That'll be ongoing. In every season it's like that. You know, you got to figure out how it all fits together, and is it like you projected, and where are the, you know, the guys that have stepped up and done some things that, you know, may have changed your outlook. So that we're still there. We're still working on it.
What have you felt like have been the major issues getting the running game going so far?
Well, the 49ers had a lot to do with it last week. They did a terrific job on us, and we weren't able to get the kind of spacing that we were used to, you know, that we were counting on. And so we have to be better at the line of scrimmage. We got to be stouter. We got to make sure that we don't get penetration and they get the negative plays and the plays that, you know, that keep you from feeling good about the running game.
You have any more info on Damian Lewis?
He went through the walkthrough today, so he's got a thigh bruise, but he got a lot more done than we thought he would. He looked okay moving around. So I don't know. I think we'll take it easy on him today and you know, take each day one at a time here. But that's a good indication.
And one more on the running game. With Rashad and Kenneth, was it hard to just, I mean, they didn't have much room to run.
No, they didn't get that. We didn't get the observations made. There was not enough opportunities to see stuff that we wanted to see. So we'll go at it again this week.
You can't make it out of the game, okay, with this?
Yeah, he was fine.
Is Shelby going to practice today?
No, he's not. Matter of fact, he's got a family thing he's working on. He has to take care of business. So he's not here today.
The TV broadcast showed DK pointing in his hand and his back at some point on Sunday. Is he fine coming out of the game and everything?
Yeah, he was fine today. Yeah, he got you know, whacked a couple times, but he's fine. He bounced right back.
Last year you guys were really good against the run, kind of making teams one-dimensional like you wanted to, but some of the passing numbers still weren't there. Pass rush numbers weren't there. What did you learn about last season and that the idea that like just stopping the run may not be enough?
Well, we never just tried to stop the run. We just did it okay, you know. It's always been, you know, an important part of the game, and so I didn't learn anything as far as those results to these results.
Speaking of stopping the run, Al Woods 3 tackles for loss in that game, which
yeah, he continues to be really, you know, really successful pounding the line of scrimmage. He's knocking guys back. He's making plays. You know, he's so big and so strong, and he's playing really hard too. He's chasing the football well. He's done a lot of really good things, and it's turning out to be very productive.
Red zone efficiency on defense has been really good, picking up from where you left off last year. What's gone into that in the first couple of games?
Say the beginning of the question again.
Red zone efficiency,
Yeah.
keeping opponents.
Yeah.
in zone.
Yeah, I think it's we have some background where we've had good success. We know what we're doing and what we've added to it with the stuff we have with the new look at it has been it's been effective right off the bat. Right now, people don't know what we're doing. They have to figure us out, and so we have a little bit of an advantage in that regard.
It's been several years since you've gone up against Marcus Mariota. How has he evolved as a quarterback? Has he shown similar traits than when you guys saw him 5 years ago in Tennessee?
I've always liked him. I've always liked his athleticism and his running ability, and he's always been able to do a little bit of everything well. He's been able to throw the ball too. He kind of got mired in a backup role. He looks like a starter to me. He's back at it and he's doing great. What you see is he's still a real threat to run the football. He's really fast and he plays fast, and he's got a good attitude about it. He's aggressive with the way he takes off and runs, and they get vulnerable there, but still he's making the most of his opportunities. I think the way that they have shown it in the first couple of weeks, it really plays to his strengths. That's why I say that Coach has done a nice job of transitioning, from a totally different makeup of a quarterback, and right immediately it showed up that they were able to take advantage of what Marcus can do.
Is it that drastic of a shift for their offensive system that they've gone? I mean, is it completely 180 from what they had last year?
There wasn't much concern for Matt, running the ball. He was a classic, pocket quarterback. So this is almost the other extreme, and so it's a big change. That's why I acknowledge that they've made a nice transition quickly, and it's felt. We already feel the difference.
Cordell Patterson's career transition has been interesting, obviously, receiver and running back. What's sort of the challenge with him and how he works?
Yeah, he's been a remarkable player always, but it has been, it's been a process for people to figure out where the best place to put him is, because he's been a receiver that never really got over the hump there, and he's always been a phenomenal returner, and as good as you could get, but he seems to be settling in at the running back spot. He looks different than the running backs that you've seen. He won't look the same. The numbers are so different and all that, but he's really tall and he's really fast, but he's taken to it, and they're off to a good start with him. They have a nice mix with their runners.
Kyle Pitts has been used a lot as a blocker this year, but what's the threat that he poses if he gets going there?
Well, they're lining him up outside and throwing go balls to him, so that's a big statement in itself. And he's a guy that you can tell they really like, and they're looking for ways to get him the football. It hasn't turned out maybe as productively yet, but it's coming because he's a really talented kid. He looks like a wide receiver playing.
How's Darrell Taylor doing with the new defense?
He's learning. He's learning. I think as we're adjusting, in this early part of the season, we're trying to figure out how best to use our guys, and proportionally rushing versus playing on early downs and stuff like that. So we're working at that. He can do everything, and we particularly like him as a rusher coming off the edge because of his speed and all that. So we're learning. He's learning. We're learning.
It seemed like Daryl Johnson actually gave you some nice plays on defense last week. What have you liked to see about him since he's come over to you guys?
He's a real natural football player, and it's why he looks good in special teams. There's not very many 260-pound guys running down on kickoffs and punts and making plays too. He's got sense and awareness. He's also a really good technician at the line of scrimmage. He can play 3 technique or 5 technique or 9 technique. He can do them all. And he just gets in there, and he's just been raised right, and he's got the real long arms that he has. He uses his length, and he's been, the aggressiveness shows up on the special teams from before, and it showed up in the game. You had a couple big shots, and so he's made a really positive impression. We'll see more of him. We're gonna play him more.
Sorry.
Yes.
How has Cody handled Cody Barton's being the starter now?
Yeah, Cody's taken to it. He's learning the system well. He's in it. You see him starting to pick his times to take shots, making plays and going after stuff. That's when guys feel confident and they know they're doing the right thing instead of wondering if they're doing the right thing. I think he's going to continue to show up in those kinds of settings. He's going to make plays in the backfield. He's going to make plays on the perimeter. He's got really good ball instincts. He was a DB, and a safety and all that kind of stuff. You can see it when he gets on the perimeter in his coverage and all. So there's a lot of stuff we're still working on, but he's made a good transition, and he owns the spot right now.
D. Eskridge, I think, has played 11 snaps combined. What's keeping him off the field?
It's just taking time. It's just taking time to get him comfortable where he's really consistent with his stuff. He's got to learn, our stuff, and he's getting there. He's working hard at it. He's just missed so much time. It's still he's in a rookie process to me, and I hate to put him into a rookie year again, but I see it that way. It's going to take him some time, and we want him playing, we want him out there. He's got talent that we need to utilize, but he's a case of a guy when I don't want to do too much too early and get him screwed up, and so we're just trying to bring him along, and he's ready to. He's dying to play more.
Physically, is he? He's
He's fine. Yeah.
Does Justin Coleman have a chance to get back this week?
I don't know that yet. Not on this day. He's not going to go today.
Pete, after the game, you said Gino couldn't really get it going, and then I think the next day, trust him, can't hold him back. Was there anything that you saw on film that maybe changed your perspective?
Well, seeing that we didn't find our explosions in the game, and I felt like there's no reason not to go for our stuff, and we have all kinds of things that we want to do, and I think we can do more of it. Just the things that we work on and all, and with this thought that I'm not gonna wait for 3 or 4 more weeks to figure out what Gino's looking like. I think he looks really good. I'm convinced that what he's done in practice and what we've seen, he's carried to the games. The game's not too big. He's very comfortable in the games. He's very poised about stuff, and he's accurate as heck. And there's no reason to be worried about him at all. The process, I think that's really the statement I was making. I feel better about it, and I know the coaches do. And we've not played many games where guys complete 80% of their passes for a couple weeks. That's nobody has. So we're just gonna go and see if we can get this thing rolling at a better clip than we have been.
How have you felt Josh Jones has played?
Good. He's doing well. Yeah, he's doing a nice job. You'll see him continue to get moved around and do more things with him. He's been real productive for us and active, and we have a lot of confidence in him.
How do you like the way that your team has responded to Sunday and just kind of bounce back?
I'll let you know a little bit later. I want to know after seeing him on the field today and get back Thursday and get rolling. What I do like, this is finally a regular week, and we cherish the routine of it, and to get our mentality right and our process right and our recovery right and all of that. This is really the first week that it feels like it's a normal sequence. So I'm anxious to really capture it this week and take advantage of it.
What have you learned about Charles and Abe through these first 2 games?
They're doing it. They're playing. They're out there doing it, and they're holding up their own. They're really attentive to the things that they need to improve on. In communicating with them, they're not being hard-headed about it. They're not being where they can't handle the criticism and the critique. That means that there's nothing holding them back now. We just got to keep going and keep playing. They've seen some pretty darn good guys already. They'll continue to see good guys, each week in and week out. But we're starting to build a little reservoir of experience. So it's nothing but positive.
We asked about Kobe after the game. You said you kind of need to look at it more now that you've gone back and revisited his play.
Yeah, he played a solid game. Unfortunately, he had the penalties, penalties that got us, and those don't have to happen. Those are plays that we can get rid of. We had Michael had 2, and he had a couple. We can get rid of those, and that's something we're making a big deal about it. Understanding what the officials are calling, and what is allowed and what isn't. I'm still concerned about. When we've had like 4 deep balls called, and we've been all over the deep balls with the corners, with Michael and with Wool, and 3 of them have been penalties. We can't cover them any tighter. So I'm still trying to help them find their way to the finesse part of it at the end of the play. And they're not. There's a case where guys panic at that situation and they'll grab and they'll do stuff. They're not doing that. They're in control of what's going on. So I know that we're going to be able to clean that up.
Where does Sidney Jones fit into the quarterback spot?
Sid's back and ready to go, and we got him kind of sitting in the 3rd spot, ready to jump in there. The guys have just done well, and we're just pushing those guys to see how long they can keep rolling, and Sid's ready to go. And he's, I know he's frustrated by that, but that's just the way it is right now. Mike's done a really nice job, and Tariq has done a really nice job starting out, and I think they're going to continue to get better, but he's ready to go.
You see him as he can play both sides?
Yes.
Is Artie Burns ready?
Michael flips too. Mike flips for us also.
Is Artie Burns ready to get back?
He'll be full practice today. It's the first time he's really be out there, and so we'll take a look and see how this week goes. But we're really excited to get him back out.
And how's Trey Brown doing
He's still working. He's here working out every day, trying to get right. He's not close right now. He's not running full speed yet. So he's working out and doing a lot of strength work and all the stuff with the trainers and all that, but he's not ready yet.
Back to the corners and the penalties. What was the coaching? I think it was Jackson's second interference when he did turn his head, look back at the ball, and they both fell down at the same time and the ball arrived. I think it was Jackson.
I'm going to do a really good job not talking about this, okay? If you don't mind. Really. There was just, you just got to not draw the attention, of the officials to call it. We have to not do the things that they're looking for, and that looking back for the football is one of the things, but it's also the jostling and stuff like that. So we have to work our way through that. That's really well done.
Can I ask you, was that one of the plays you sent back to New York and asked for?
Was that what?
Was that one of the plays you sent back to New York and asked for an explanation, or just?
Yeah, we sent a lot of stuff back. Yeah.
What do you thought of the interior O-line play we gave Austin and Phil?
We have to find our consistency. We just got to be a little bit better on our pass protection stuff. We've had some leakage there. Pass protection in general has been pretty good, but we've had a couple plays that we can clean up. I think we're gonna be really solid pass protection wise. I mean, if we can hold up against the Niners and keep Gino back there where he's got some space back there, then that's a good test for us. And as the tackles continue to grow and they learn to work with the guards, we anticipate getting really improving.
Oh, what's the general speaking? What's the biggest change you want to see from your defense this Sunday?
If we just take the penalties out of our play, we gave them, I don't know, there's four first downs I think we gave them, Those are huge plays. We're off the field and we're sitting down. Huge. And we don't have to do anything different, and so we need to clean. If there was one thing, I would clean that up first. There's other things. There's other things I'm working on. But those were the significant plays. It's like, it's like a 40-yard catch that didn't happen, and so those are huge field swings and all that. So we have to do better there.
And one last thing, how you just thought of the pass rush through 2 weeks?
Well, we've been in a couple different weeks of it, different styles. We had a running quarterback last week until Jimmy came in. The approach was to make sure that we don't let their quarterback run too. And the week before was a very, very crafted rush game, And so I'm anxious to see us cut loose a little bit here in the coming weeks here and see how we do. Chenna has been really a factor. He's been a real factor. He's been a factor in everything. He's had a fantastic 2 games. So he's doing his thing. I want to see if we can get Quentin going and Mafe part of it as well with Daryl. And so we just need to work our mix and see if we can. I want to keep him fresher too, rotations and stuff. So we're learning how to do that.
Mariota is similar to Trey Lance in that regard. As he moves around a lot, not as many pure drop back situations.
Yeah, there's similarities in that. We're good.
Anything else?